Are we alive? I feel like we're dead. Good morning, everybody.
Might. Good morning, and welcome back to the Haunted Huddle.
We're all dying slowly from allergies.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to be talking about the witch trials that are going on right now. That's going on in Pennsylvania?
Yes, in Hanover, Pennsylvania, this shit is going on in 2024.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It actually started last year, believe it or not, because I never fucking heard about it until this year. So
well, I guess they're really
the buses coming out of my window in the back.
They're really trying to just keep everything under wraps.
When it first started, yeah, because I don't think anybody expected it to blow up into such a problem as much as it is.
So what is going on exactly?
So I'll give you the whole lowdown. In Hanover, Pennsylvania, at the Serpent's Key Shop and Sanctuary store owned by Beck Lawrence, they were being targeted by Hanover Police Chief, specifically the frickin' chief.
It's always the chief.
For providing tarot card readings. So, the Hanover Police Chief, named Chad Martin, and an unnamed officer had arrived at the Serpent's Key, threatening to arrest the shop owner, Beck Lawrence, under a law that was passed back in 1861 of no fortune telling.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, so you mean to tell me that, most cops who are supposed to learn the law pick and choose which laws to uphold?
Apparently only in Hanover. So, we've all been to
Pennsylvania.
It's illegal
to, whistle. Women can't whistle in, Utah. That was a law
I don't
passed in
they
1800s.
enforce that. That's my point. So there's a lot of these old laws that are still in that, people have forgotten about as times have changed. This is clearly one of them, because it's not like we're all running around like the Crucible screaming witch.
True.
Everybody's read that. That's a very sad story.
Right? That's not our current lives, and thank God for that, because I think that I would have to cry.
But are you actually living if you weren't burned at the stake? If you wouldn't be burned at the stake 400?
No, we don't know that. That's what we need fucking readings for. I digress. So, in the shop, Lawrence has so many signs all around the shop that say that their tarot card reading services are purely for entertainment purposes only. And obviously, if you couldn't guess, or if you've never heard of this is a metaphysical shop. So they've got crystals and incense, and if you need altar worship stuff, they have the figurines of gods, all that fun stuff. They've got a lot of decorations, all of that fun jazz. But despite the fact that all of these signs were up, the police chief was so determined to enforce this old law. Now, obviously, I think personally that the government needs to go and find these little itty-bitty shadow laws that are from fucking 1800 and previously, because enforcement of this law actually goes against Lawrence's First Amendment right of freedom of speech and their 14th Amendment right to, The 14th Amendment right protects one's right to a living for whatever their chosen profession may be, which obviously owning this shop is their chosen profession, and one of the services that it provides is tarot card readings. So it all follows under that branch. And all of this occurred of roughly October last year. So it's literally been a whole fucking year now.
Yeah.
Later into 2023, Lawrence had stated on their social media that they were in the process of starting to sue the Hanover Police Department and making attempts to abolish this no fortune-telling law. And as far as I'm aware, this law is only applies to Pennsylvania.
Really? So the fortune-telling laws don't apply anywhere else?
I don't think so. Which is silly, because nowadays, Pennsylvania has all of these, witchy shops, because I don't know, it's a very big target down there. No, target as in, it's a good selling point, not that somebody's going after it.
They actually have a demographic for it.
Yeah.
I just looked this up. Did you know fortune telling is also illegal in New York State?
Well, that sucks to suck.
It's also illegal in Texas.
It is a good thing that I do tarot cards from the comfort of my own home. Also, it being illegal in Texas does not surprise me. Anything being illegal in Texas doesn't surprise me if it's fun.
It's funny that you bring this up, right? Because at one point in time, it was illegal to practice any sort of religion outside of your own home. And I mean any sort of religion.
Which is
maybe not here in the U.S., But,
Yeah.
well,
That's why America came to America. Why people came to America, because they
Why
wanted
America
the right.
came to America.
That's why America came to America. That's a sticker waiting to happen. No, but that's why we came here to America, to be able to practice religion and not feel persecuted for practicing whatever religion we wanted to. That is one of the amazing things about living here in America. Like, this is a country where you're free to be any religion you'd like. Getting all political, I am.
That was so appropriate, and I love that.
Listen, my heart is always spooky 24/7, 365.
So, the Hanover Police Department and Lawrence's lawyers had gone back and forth for months, and the department was constantly asking for extensions on the cease and desist that was filed against them. Ultimately, Hanover Police Department decided that they were going to enforce this law anyway, despite it not commonly being enforced, and the fact that, it goes against your First and 14th Amendment rights. But they gave this statement with the response of why they won't do it being, quote, for the fact of if there would be a credible complaint in the future involving the tarot readings that Lawrence provides at their shop.
But if there's signs up everywhere that state that, hey, this is just for entertainment purposes, like, come on, does that mean
they
that
seem to
cookies?
completely right?
So under
I
that
guess
law,
Chinese restaurants need to start putting up signs.
which that's
They just
so.
seem
What is
to
going on with
overlook it.
back? So what is going on right
Obviously,
now with back?
they've been in and out of court a lot because of all of this. Since all of this started, they personally haven't said much about it up until recently. So last month, September, around the week of the 25th, Lawrence actually announced on their social media that they were approached by a Senator Christian Phillips Hill. Sorry, I can't read. To sit and discuss this issue. The senator wanted to know what was going on. She took a personal interest in what was happening.
So this isn't some tiny rinky-dinky thing going on right now. Like, a senator's now getting involved in a court
It has blown up a little bit, but the problem is that for them to have abolished this law, there would have to be a lot more attention on it, which could also end very, very poorly.
Hey, how so?
So obviously, it could just not be abolished whatsoever if nobody pays attention to it, and whoever the fuck is filing through all of this says that it's a load of crap. Essentially, what Beck had said, and from what I gather, there would have to be a handful of Senator Phillips Hill who would have to take an interest in it and actually learn about it instead of looking at it the surface of, well, this is kind of petty.
Do we think that? I think personally,
what are you doing?
me?
Yes.
My food got here.
Oh, you're running around.
I'm hungry. And the little thing that we just heard was my timer saying, you can eat now, bit.
Everybody, please remember to eat your food.
Eat your food and take your pills.
I don't have any food. Donnie ate the last of my sourdough loaf.
Well, then make him go and get more.
I'm gonna come up to Maryland right now and beat him up.
That asshole's in DC right now. I can't do jack shit.
Oh, that's closer, though.
Get my little hot sauce. No, but so this law is back from the
1961. Obviously, we don't have cameras. Lauren's rubbing her hands all over her face in disappointment.
Don't you love archaic laws?
Well,
I love
they're still here. Obviously, most of the places, they're not enforced. And honestly, all throughout Pennsylvania, I've never heard of this law being enforced, and I couldn't find any record of this kind of shit happening.
Why this store? Why this owner? Why Beck?
I don't know. Nobody
Bex
really
go,
knows.
It has to boil down to that police chief that there's just something that he just doesn't like or accept about the
'Cause
First Amendment right.
It's not like anybody in the department has gone over, as far as has been told. Beck has said that it has been constantly the police chief.
I was gonna say there's something about it that he just doesn't like or he doesn't respect the First Amendment right, which is against his job.
If it's just the police chief, there's something up with this police chief then. Maybe we should be looking into this. Because if it's nobody else, nobody's complaining. So what did he just on his own free will one day just look up on Google where can I get my fortune read? And their shop showed up. I'm sorry, I don't know what Beck's pronouns are, so I'm just going to refer to them, they. They. Okay, thank you.
They, them.
Just pop up on their shop and just go in and be like, hey, if you don't stop this, I'm gonna arrest you. Like, is this what this guy literally did on his free time?
It honestly wouldn't shock me with stuff like that, knowing that somebody, like, I personally know, to some extent, has had to deal with. It's not the same realm of him, like, running a shop, but this police chief actually got fired, years down the road for essentially killing a fetus, because he abused a pregnant woman. But it's usually someone who gets a little, like, power hungry and thinks that they can get away with just about anything. And this police chief had harassed, like, my dad's friend. So it really is. I really do feel like it's just this police chief just has a power hungry.
Oh, wait. Next got a point.
So apparently, I did a little digging, specifically into Chad Martin.
Of course their name is Chad.
Yes,
Chad!
His name is Chad Martin.
I've only ever met one Chad that wasn't a complete dingus.
I don't think I've met any Chad. I don't think I've actually met a Chad in real life, and I can be thankful for that a little bit.
He was 4. And
he had time to grow into his name.
He's 4 and he likes velociraptors.
You know what? That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool.
He came into my job and goes, my name's Chad and I like velociraptors. I was like, hey Chad,
me too.
What's up? He goes, I really like velociraptors. I was like, that's awesome, kid. Me too. Just ran away.
We need more Chads like that. Anyway, I digress. So apparently, Chief Martin paid a visit to this business because he saw an ad in the newsletter about tarot card readings from this shop and decided that
he really had nothing else to do with this day, I guess.
Can you imagine being at home drinking your coffee and you're fucking reading the newsletter and you see tarot readings offered at this address and you're like, I'm gonna fuck up their day. Like,
usually someone who does not have a hobby, and they're in Pennsylvania, so you think hunting would be something he would be more interested in than harassing.
There's a lot to do, though, in Pennsylvania.
Clearly, hold on. Hunting animals, not hunting witches.
Yeah, we do have to be specific about that, don't we?
It's a witch hunt.
But according to the lawsuit that Lawrence had filed against specifically Chief Martin, is that Lawrence had asked Martin if they could record the two of them talking, like if it was okay. And he said no. And apparently after that, he continued to be really pushy and aggressive about the fact that, like, they weren't allowed to provide this service and that if they didn't, he would have to, like, put them under arrest. Even though,
so wait a second.
He walked into the store, too. I have no idea. No one claims that he was on duty. But he came in once, assumably on duty, with another officer, which nobody has the name of. And I'm assuming it's just because he didn't want to be involved, and honestly, I can't blame you.
Wow, okay, so this is even interesting. So I just looked up a little bit. Pennsylvania is an all-party consent state. So that is why Bex had to ask the cop if they could record the conversation.
Yeah.
But according to SkinnerLawFirm.net, because, I'm going to cite my sources, as well as media.pa.gov, only state troopers are required to wear body cameras, and not all police officers are required to wear body cams.
So what I'm hearing is he probably doesn't wear one, and this is my assumption. It can make an ass out of me or not. That he doesn't wear a body cam so he can pull this stupid bullshit.
I think that's actually that should be illegal. That cops should always have to wear their body cams.
I think any police officer or police chief, any law enforcement, when interacting with the public, should have to wear a body cam. Now, some people will say that it's against their right and their freedom of privacy. Guess what? No, because are there bad cops out there? Absolutely. Are there good cops out there? Absolutely. But when you don't have that video evidence that shows, because it sits right there on their chest, of what's going on, who's to say what did and what did not happen?
But also, let's put it this way too. If you are in the public service or public safety, your right to privacy is null and void while you are wearing that uniform. It shouldn't be. Like, your private life is one thing. Your private life should be private, everything like that. But while you are wearing and donning that uniform, You have to uphold what you are representing. Point blank, period. So cops should have to wear the body cams while they're wearing that uniform.
You don't know what's horrifying that I just found out? If this law was to be kept and to be enforced, that it's punishable by a year in jail or at least up to a $2,500 fine.
Again, this goes against like the First Amendment, right? Which essentially is federal at this point because your amendments are federal. Federal usually overwrites the state.
But I think that it's specifically also like if you're doing tarot readings or fortune telling in exchange for money, you're doing it as a service. This goes against both rights, your first and your 14th. Because if this is how you're making money, your chosen profession.
I can understand if like you need a license because a lot of states require, like even, Maryland, our state requires a license to offer those kinds of services.
Do they really?
And you can get a license through that stuff. Like because it is a business, obviously for tax reasons, it's easier to keep track of business if you've done the paperwork to have a license.
So, question really quick. When did this case start?
August of last year, somewhere around there. August and October.
So, which is funny. So, I'm scrolling through a little bit because, you know me, I like to research as we talk. According to the Evening Sun, in September 29th of 2016, Hanover Borough Police Department is the only department in Hanover using body cameras. Scroll down a little bit to Fox 29 News Philadelphia, August 7th, 2023. Pennsylvania State announces the rollout of body-worn cameras, that it must be worn by all troopers across the Commonwealth throughout the month. So he might have started doing this right before this happened, because he knew it was coming.
What do you mean?
You said it happened of August of last year.
Yeah.
In August 7th, 2023, Pennsylvania announced that all police officers would now have to wear this. This is coming from Fox 29. So it's Fox, so I don't know how true it is, but usually stuff with police officers they don't lie about. Yeah, Pennsylvania State Police signed a 5-year contract with a supplier of police body camera technology. The department said Monday, so that was the 7th, so whatever that Monday would have been, I'm not going to look up the camera right now. They are going to be wearing it for a 60 to 90 day trial by Troop H in-car style. Body cameras will have to be worn by all departments across the county and across the entire Commonwealth.
This was a trial, so we don't know if they actually went through with it, did they?
I can't find anything that says anything. Anybody who lives in Pennsylvania, please let me know who's ever had interaction with law enforcement. I have a friend who's probably listened to this. Hey, Bree.
I'll ask my coworker.
Yeah, see if what's going on. Like, do they have to wear it? Or are police officers... Then again, Bree probably doesn't have a lot of interaction with police. I love her dearly, but she's a sweet little cinnamon roll and probably does not have a lot of interaction with police officers.
Like I can at least say I've had some with Maryland State Police, and a lot of them are really cool. Shout out to the one that took me to the hospital. A+. We talked about Japan and anime.
Like, are they required? This is like a little bonkers.
It's just crazy. I really think it's just a case of like this police chief just was bored one day and was like, I'm a swing my dig bick all around.
Apparently he had made a following statement after Lawrence had posted this on social media and it started getting traction. And his statement says as followed: upon observing the advertisement for the building in the borough of Hanover that offered tarot card readings, I engaged in a conversation with 2 individuals concerning the advertisement and my intent to educate the person or persons engaged. In the acts about to... Oh my god, I can't read. Cut this out. In the acts about the above listed statue, there was never an investigation nor was there a threat of arrest on the matter, which Beck and I think one of their employees had also said that he did threaten at least once that he would have to arrest them.
He would have to?
Yeah. I'm sorry, but I don't care in what way you're saying it. If you're telling somebody that they might be arrested, I'm taking it as a threat.
That is a threat.
Unless you're not actively putting them under arrest, reading them their rights. It's a threat.
Yeah, and this law's like not even really like enforced anymore.
No. And I got that little statement off of the Evening Sun because they had a little blurb about it.
But here's the whole thing. Like, it's one thing if you go, hey, you know, jaywalking is one of those things that you can get arrested for. You maybe, shouldn't do that. It's one thing for like a cop to be like, hey, you could get arrested for doing that. Maybe you shouldn't be doing this when you're actively doing it. But another one saying, I can arrest you for this, or I will, that's a threat. Saying, hey, just letting you know that's illegal, just so you know, and then walking away, that's a warning.
Yeah,
saying,
but
I
there's
will.
also the whole manner of, because we've all seen the fucking footages that people post to the internet of the reason why cops get a bad rap of them going, hey, this is illegal, you shouldn't be doing this, and then escalating the situation, which is not your fucking job.
No.
Also, to go back, jaywalking is supposed to avoid, like, bitches getting into traffic accidents.
Yeah.
I mean, at
It's
that
what
What
point,
harm is a tarot card reading doing? Tell me!
I guess if like you got a weird ass reading and something really bad happened, and as long as they didn't sign something or a contract saying that you will not come back to harass these people because their tarot card reading, like something from your tarot card reading came true, right? Like something really bad happened after they're like, oh, this card is going to signify this card is in reverse, so therefore like this is going to happen. Like people, if you do not have like some form of contract, and because people are this stupid, people will try everything to either get their money back or to get some form of compensation. You have to be so careful now, and you have to make sure that you have contracts in place for this, because something like that could very well happen.
But the point is that Beck's, they have a sign in their store that says tarot readings are for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, so I mean,
So
at
that
that
would
point,
be-
yeah.
That's like saying, hey, when you walk into my room, it's probably gonna be messy.
It's a disclosure.
Yeah,
It's a
I mean,
disclosure.
as
It's
long
like,
as like
hey,
the disclosure's there.
But that's the thing. The disclosure was there, and he continued to press.
and that's entertainment purposes. So would that mean then people who like, I love her, please, if you hear this, please know I love you. Stevie Nicks is known as the White Witch. Does this mean if Stevie Nicks goes to Hanover, Pennsylvania, she's going to be arrested because she looks like a witch?
No, because that's discrimination.
It's discrimination to go into somebody's private property, because a business is private property. It's not the public. It is private property, especially if you're the business owner. That is your property that you are allowing the public to go into.
I don't think that applies once they're on working hours.
Bottom line is, this cop went into this business and went in there and was like, I'm going to arrest you for this.
He went in without, like, nobody filed a complaint. Nobody called in anything. Literally just saw it in his newspaper during his morning coffee and donut. And I'm not sorry for that stereotype.
I was gonna say, like, oh, we hitting with the stereotypes today.
No, because you're incompetent.
I know a couple of police officers that are friends of mine, and I don't know a single one of them that would not pass up a donut.
Bitch, I
Or a
wouldn't pass up a
munchkin.
donut.
Yeah,
Like,
donuts are
there are
amazing.
there are nights where, like, I get really bored, and we have a 24-hour Dunkin' Donuts by me. We'll buy us snacks. And I will sit there with, like, my little cup of tea and, like, a little snack, and I will watch. And you will see several police officers go in and come out with, like, a box of donuts, and they will come out with a cup of coffee and a box of donuts. Not, like, a bag, a box.
A box.
So it's like, okay, I guess the stereotype isn't that far off.
Okay, but who doesn't like donuts?
So I was gonna say, stereotypes usually come from some form of truth, whether you like it or not. There's a reason stereotypes exist.
But again, I'm gonna say this because this is, unfortunately, nowadays, the stereotypical police officer. And that's horrifying. Had nothing better to do than look at their morning paper, see that they're also, the fact that he had offhand, which is impressive, but also just concerning, the knowledge of this fucking law written in 1861.
How is this man?
I don't know.
I know how old this man is.
Someone
And
needs to look this up. But
Is
I
he
was,
like a white boomer?
feel like a white boomer.
Is he a white boomer?
He probably is. So I was just looking, I'm on wildhunt.org, and this is Pennsylvania Title IX, Section 17104, which came onto the force on June 6, 1973, so they must have edited it. A person is guilty of a misdemeanor of the third degree if he pretends to gain, lure, or tell fortune or predict future events by cards, tokens, or the inspection of heads, hands of any person by the age of anyone, or consulting the movements of heavenly bodies in any manner to gain, lure, or pretends to the effect by purposes of charms, spells, necromancy, or incantation. So wouldn't that be...
I want to know who's performing proper necromancy.
I don't want to know who's performing necromancy. No. Advises the taking of administering what is commonly called love powders, potions, or the same administered, or publishes a card by a singular sign or newspaper. So them posting in the newspaper that they gave tarot readings would be considered, for truth purposes, would be illegal. But if it says in that article that it's for entertainment purposes, they're fine. Or by other means, predict future events. And then it just keeps saying to lure, to put a person in bad luck, or animal, or stop or injure the business or health of a person to shorten their life. Or make a person dispose of a property in favor of another. But it's saying, like, you can't do incantations. And you can't try to sell something saying that it's going to make you feel something. So wouldn't, like the stress away teas and stuff like that, wouldn't those all be considered illegal then in Hanover?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's saying in here, like, to give somebody, like, a spell or a charm or some sort of, where is it? I just could have sworn I swear to say something. Or something to stop bad luck. Like, I would say being stressed out is bad luck. Or potions, like, tea is 100% a potion. You can't convince me otherwise.
I mean, it is. It's a mixture of leaves, brewed in water, meant for human consumption.
Yeah, but...
people don't want to hear that.
No, they don't.
Like,
So, do we know if Bex's shop is still open?
pretty sure it is.
I would love for this shop to be open. I think if they have an online store, everyone should go and just, buy some stuff from Bex. It is still open.
I was going to say, I don't think they had any right to close it.
And they have an online store.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Serpent's Key, which, yeah, I know we knew that. I'm just clicking on this. And it even says, like, I just clicked on their Mercury retrograde reading, which for a 30-minute reading, only $44. It does say that, for legal reasons, I must advise you that these readings are for entertainment purposes only. I think I see, like, entertainment purposes only on here several times.
I mean, the fact
Again.
that they've had this disclosure up and stuff speaks volumes about the police chief. But then also, like, this is what most drama, like, tea channels on YouTube say. Whenever, like, before they go into their, whoever they're talking about, they go, this is for either, this is all alleged, or this is all for entertainment purposes. And that's just a form of protection for them against the law.
So, really quickly, just going back to Bex and their shop, they have a pre-order for the shirts and hoodies that it's like one of those pop arts. It looks like a comic book. I forgot what it's called, and I should remember what it's called. That it says Handover Witch Trials, the High Priestess. It's a tarot card, and it says Burning Witches is so 1692, the Serpent's Key, Hanover, Pennsylvania. I've never wanted to support
these?
Absolutely.
I want them.
I'm also I think I'm gonna put the link to this in the description because this is incredible. I think everyone needs to go. If you are able to go and buy this, do it because let's support Bex because this trial is going to be going on for a while. Because it's against the police. Like, let's be honest. Those ones
That
drag
and
out for
it's
forever.
trying to abolish one of the oldest fucking laws that obviously nobody could have, like, had the patience to.
Well, you can't carry an ice cream cone in your back pocket in New York City on a Sunday.
You shouldn't be carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket, period, end of subject. That just proves how stupid people are that we had to make a law.
This is a free country. If I want to have an ice cream cone in my pocket, I should be allowed to.
No!
I mean, Donnie
Why?
had found this out about Florida is apparently you can't shower naked.
Are you showering?
And I don't know if that just means like the public, like when you go to the beaches in Florida, they have like the showers that you can just like rinse all the dirt off, which I can understand like why you wouldn't want to shower naked there, right? Unless you're at a nude beach. But like that law
So what
could
do you do
technically
if you're
apply.
at a nude beach?
I guess you just go in naked. I don't know.
You can have nude beaches, but you can't go to a nude beach's shower and shower naked. That's what I just gathered.
Like, there's a lot of laws. Like, I think there's a law in upstate New York that you're not allowed to handstand walk in the middle of an intersection. Like,
Who's doing these things that we had to pass these laws?
We also have to have laws of telling people not to, like, screw animals. So think about that for a moment.
Listen, there's a reason why every law is made. When I was going to school at Suffolk, there was a huge signs throughout the lobby that say, "Do not eat Oreos in the building." I don't know what happened with Oreos, but it was specifically Oreos. But there was
Could you eat anything else in the building, just not Oreos?
You could eat anything else. They didn't sell Oreos at all on campus. There was no Oreos in the cafeteria. There was no Oreos in the pod down in the Southampton building.
This was a personal vendetta against Oreos.
What the Oreo company do to you?
No.
I don't know, but something happened with Oreos someplace that there was like, no Oreos!
I'm
But
sorry.
now I kind of want Oreos.
I mean, I don't care. I would just go to the nearest convenience store. I would just grab myself a pack of Oreos and some milk. You can't stop me. This is my First Amendment right.
The closest convenience store to where that college is was like 3 miles away. And when you only have like 15 minutes in between classes, you're not going 3 miles away on Long Island, New York to go get a thing of Oreos and get back in time and then try to find parking on campus. God. People were
Oreos
literally...
aren't worth it, man.
Yeah, Oreos weren't worth it. I just want to know what happened with the Oreos.
They knew what they were doing when they banned Oreos then.
They banned them all over from a 3-mile radius.
Yep. This is, like, incredible. Like, I'm gonna look at this woman, this person shop a little bit more. But what was the purpose of stopping this individual from doing that? Especially if they have all these signs that say for entertainment purposes only.
Because he was bored.
Yeah, that's really what it boils down to. There's really no, like, rhyme or reason. If it's not hurting anybody, it's not like
hurting
disrupting.
Anybody. Nobody made a complaint.
Yeah, like
there was no reason.
It's literally, I think for him, I think it was literally just he just wanted power. And he's like, I could do whatever I want. There's a law against this, and I know that there's a law because I looked through all these textbooks.
I'm a nerd.
Obviously.
There is so many cool things on this website for the Serpent's Key shop. They have all these awesome events, like meeting the ancestors. They have, like, conversation stuff, like building, like, a broom. And all these things, like it says on here, are for entertainment purposes only. Like, it says this now on, like, every single thing on here.
I know.
These are cool. Does anybody want to go over to Handover to Pennsylvania with me?
I mean,
Maybe.
yeah. Like, Pennsylvania's like maybe 3 hours from me.
It's like 2.5 from me. We're going on a trip to Pennsylvania. Let's go meet Bex.
Going on a trip.
In our tiny little my shit box. I love my car,
Trust
but
your shit box.
listen, this shit box is at least better than the other shit box. My Honda Civic, I miss that car though. People stealing catalytic converters. How dare you? So do we know any updates? Like, is there like a trial date for this yet, or no?
Not that's been released to the public.
It's ridiculous. Wait, Handover, hold on. I was just looking. I thought that maybe Handover could be in, like, Amish country, and that might be why these laws are in place. It is not in Amish country, according to Google. NPR. It is not.
Yeah, no. There's literally no fucking reason.
Especially in this day and age, at this point.
But yeah, that's all we got for it.
That's all we got for it?
That's all we got for it.
Okay. Ooh. Yep, but I'm gonna put the link down below in the description about, like, you know, the witch laws and stuff like that, and as well as Bex's TikTok. Hopefully you don't get mad at me, Bex, if you ever hear or see this. And I'm also gonna be putting the link to their shop down below because I don't know about you, but I definitely want one of those t-shirts.
And if we've missed anything, or if anything else has come up before we've uploaded this, somebody let us know, because I'm invested.
Oh, 100%. This is something I want to, like...
Because I'm sure there's things that I have missed. Or probably worded it wrong. But...
Oh, worded it wrong. Dun, dun, dun.
Worded it wrong.
Dun, dun, dun. No, but this is honestly, like... bonkers. Like, that's the only thing I can think of is it's just literally bonkers. Whoa! Okay, so looking at witch laws really quick. Sorry about that. So the Salem witch trials obviously is going to come up.
Yeah.
Dorothy Good was one of the people that was executed during the Salem witch trials.
Correct.
She was 5 years old.
Yeah.
We can't be talking about how, like, children's lives matter. I'm sorry. Our history is just so, like...
She
What
was 5!
We're out here. History's full of people sacrificing children to whatever, like... Not sacrificing, but, like, this kind of bullshit.
Years old.
Not to shit on Christianity, but this whole entire purpose, at least from Salem, was essentially sacrificed for the greater good of the town.
Well,
And-
it's Puritans. Puritans are crazy.
Facts.
Especially in the context of the Salem witch trials. Bonkers.
And it's like,
Anybody during the time of witch trials was
look at, like, oh, this person looked at me the wrong way. She squinted a little bit.
now I don't feel good.
She's a witch. Where's the audio? And her sister was a witch.
You're gonna tell me that I'm wrong, Doug? She came down in a bubble. And what was her sister? A princess. You're gonna look at me and tell me I'm wrong?
It's Louise, girl. I can't.
Grow up, Doug.
That's just the three of us looking at this whole entire situation.
Colin, you sense that
So-
there is bullshit and witchcraft afoot, so you've come to my desk.
Cat has
One
approached.
thing. So, like I said, when I have witch, oh, your baby. When I have witch trials up on here, did you guys know there was a witch trial in Germany?
No.
Italy
And
has its own witch trials too.
Yeah, this one took place in 1775. So, like 1 year before the United States became. Oh my! And 1 out of every 25,000 people were just executed in Germany for being accused of being a witch, which is
Right.
close to 16,000 and change people were put on trial, and 7,000 were documented as being put to death. It's scary.
Some wild stuff.
Humans are very crazy little creatures. I think our race as a whole we had some growing pains, and we're still having growing pains.
We had some growing pains. Had?
Have.
I know. Yeah, you gave me the look, and I'm like, oh, hold on.
Correct.
Yes, there was the trial witch trials from 1581 to 1593, so that's a while. If I butcher any of these, I do apologize. I speak languages, just not these ones.
Speak languages, just not this.
The Fulda witch trials from 1603 to, wow, this one's short, to 1606. I'm going to butcher this. I do not speak German. The Watzelburg trials from 1623 to, yes, I know I butchered that, to 1631. And the Bamberg trials from 1626 to, wow, that one's pretty short too, 1631.
This can all boil down to is people need to stop getting bored and having vendettas for no reason.
Honestly, I think that's
Yeah.
why a lot of these things happen. Is people get bored, they get a little angry, they get scared, and
They
they
need
just
therapy.
All
therapy.
humans need therapy.
Look, if you're one of those people that think that somebody else doesn't have any sort of mental illness, that there's
You're
nothing
wrong.
wrong with them, you're wrong. Everybody on this planet currently, as I am speaking, we all have issues. We all need to go get help for said issues. Okay? Okay.
Granted,
If you
not-
think you need therapy, go to therapy.
The one thing is, granted, not everybody can afford therapy.
I don't
That's true,
think
too.
even if it was affordable, we'd have enough therapists.
No.
That's true too. But
You need to teach people coping skills.
that's the biggest thing. Learn to cope with life. Learn to do it like in a way that doesn't involve harming someone else. Whether you think it's not that bad, just learn to cope.
That's
And
why
maybe
when
not
you-
Mind your
perish.
business.
There
Or
is
mind your
a
business.
there is a witch's creed. I believe it's a creed that says, "If it harms none, do as you will. If you're not gonna hurt anybody, do it." So essentially, mind your business. If
And
you're not gonna
remember-
hurt anybody, do it. If you're gonna hurt somebody or somebody's feelings are gonna get hurt and nobody is hurting anybody, Mrs. Mary Lou, who lives down the street, who walks around in a neon pink tutu and a bright purple shirt wearing stiletto heels walking up and down the block every single day, does not hurt you. You do not need to call the police on Mary Lou. leave them alone. If they don't look like they're in danger, just because they're dressed weird does not mean you should call the police.
And also remember that whatever you put out into the world is going to come back to you. So if you're putting out negative energy and you're just being a shit person for absolutely no reason, that does come back to you, and it's going to come back to you in the most unexpected, most inconvenienced, or, if it's really extreme, worst way possible. And you're going to sit there and be like, what did I do to deserve this? And maybe you should kind of remember that whatever you put out does come back to you.
Before anybody tries to come at us for fortune telling, it's not fortune telling, it's life experience. Go touch grass.
Yeah.
It's called karma. And she is ruthless. She works. She is ruthless. There's also Murphy's Law, and I am so sorry for anybody else who is a victim of Murphy's Law.
Everybody in this current call has been a victim of Murphy's Law.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Look, I already had my dose of Murphy's Law this year. I don't need it again. Somebody else can take it.
Don't say Murphy's Law too many times. It's like Beetlejuice. They'll pop up.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Where's Michael Keaton?
Where's Michael Keaton?
Catherine O'Hara?
Anybody?
I thought you asked, where's my kitten?
Winona Ryder?
Winona Ryder.
They're not coming.
Oh.
But when I say my coworker's name 3 times, he appears. That's terrible.
Do it now. I dare you.
No! Absolutely not.
If I lived closer, y'all said my name. I'd bust in your door.
You realize that I have to fucking say your name at least 5 times for you to hear me sometimes? Just so zoned out on something. It's like, Tony, T.
Look, I can at least admit and own it that, sometimes I have that, tunnel vision.
No, but seriously,
I heard that.
What, Rar?
No, what Nick said. I heard
I'm not
that.
gonna say it.
I don't want to know. I do not want to know. I do not. But that is the Handover Witch Trials, so please go and support Bex in keeping their shop open and up. I'm going to put the links to those shirts down below. We're not sponsored by them whatsoever, but I just want to make sure that it's very clear.
And it's obviously not our usual content, but we thought it was definitely something important.
Yeah, especially since everybody here is into the spooky, the supernatural, and things like that. We just wanted to make sure you guys knew about what was going on, so that way we can all be there for each other, because we should be supporting one another. This is a little ridiculous. It's 2024. It's going to be 2025 in, 2 months. 2.5 months. Enough is enough. Let people do what they want to. It's a free country. Let them spend their money on whatever they want. People are way too happy these days. It's oh, I bought this cup of tea and it said it was supposed to make me feel better. That's why the medicine bowl tea they say at Starbucks, they don't call it that anymore. They have to call it what is it, the something. I don't know what it's called. The mint tea with something in it.
Yeah.
Is it the medicine? They used to call it a medicine ball?
Yeah.
Yep, they can't call it
They
that
can't
anymore
call it.
because it doesn't have medication in it. Bottom line is this: use your brain, people. Obviously, do I believe in tarot cards? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean that everything that tarot cards say is always going to be true. Use your brain for 30 seconds. Alrighty, so I guess that wraps us up for today. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but that's alrighty. So, we're going to just say goodbye. My name's Lauren.
I'm next.
And I'm T.
Until next time, stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.